three-point sheet?
Get a bunch of shots up today, tomorrow. Continued doing a lot of the same things, honestly. We've gotten a ton of shots this fall. We've shot it really well in practice. Continue to hope and pray that they'll go. I've got confidence in our ability to shoot it. It'll carry over to games. Do a better job of designating, especially for these young guys, where and when they're getting shots. Picking our spots in tempo. I think sometimes we shoot it a little bit tired. And shot selection is another factor. I think we've taken some bad ones as well. So I think you've got a few factors we're dealing with.
So is it just not translating? I mean, are you like seeing what you want in practice and then you get to the games and it's like, what happened?
Yeah, I think that we've been really good in practice offensively. We have. And we're pretty good defense. So it's not like we're, you go back and reevaluate that. Are we just not guarding each other? No, we've defended at a pretty high level in practice, a very high level in games to this point, considering the youth. I'm pleased with where our young guys are guarding and rebounding and developing in those areas. I think that we're a little rushed under the lights on TV, different team. I think we've got a little bit of some chemistry stuff, like most teams. We've got to iron out some of those wrinkles with regard to. I've got to get mine. I hadn't touched it in a couple possessions. This one's going up. It's a process for us to understand what a great shot is for this team. Not a good shot, but a great shot. Well, I know I can make that shot, Coach. Well, your high school team needed you to shoot that one. We don't. We've got 5 good players out there, and we've got to figure out a couple empty trips. Who do we want to throw it to? What's their best spot? What's their best action? Trust each other, move it. We've played a little bit too fast. Now let's slow it down. Now we got opportunities to push again. Let's push. We are just very dysfunctional offensively right now. Obviously, we all know that. We push when we probably should walk. We walk it when we've got guys open ahead of us. Especially at UConn, we passed up shots we should have shot, and we took shots we shouldn't have shot. And so, how much do you talk about shot selection before it becomes too mental for the guys? I don't know the answer to that. I've talked about it more this fall probably than I have in the past with all of the new guys and with all of the youth and with our ceiling offensively, which I still think is very high. I've obviously missed the target, so I'm trying to infuse some confidence in these guys. We watched the entire game yesterday as opposed to practicing, and took more into account the actual flow of the game, for the first time with this team. This is why this one wasn't necessarily a good one. This one would have been more of an open shot if we would have actually sprint to the screen, used the screen, space to the corner. I mean, all kinds of little details that we've got to get better at.
How do you balance maybe the urge to switch it up, make changes, whatever, versus trusting what you know and what you think you know and what you see in practice? Kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a really tough question there. And we've spent a lot of time as a staff discussing that. Do you make wholesale changes? Do you make subtle changes? Is it a personnel thing? Is it just a tempo shot selection thing? So we haven't thrown everything out the window. I don't think it's in our best interest to hit the panic button because we're doing a lot of good things, and we've got really good kids. I think they were extremely receptive and communicative during film yesterday. You won't really know until not even really today and tomorrow with this group because I think I know what we'll see in practice. It's just hopefully we get a glimpse 10 minutes in versus St. Joe's. We've settled in a little bit more. Whether they go or not, we've got to settle because they'll go at some point. They will. It'll fall for us at some point. We got too good of shooters. We just got to figure it out.
How do you try to balance, pointing out some of those things? You could get a better shot if you do this versus wanting the guys to still play loose.
That's a tough balance. It's like Mark's question. I've always erred on the side of, I think at times, in my first 8 years, erring on the side of probably giving our guys a little bit too much of an opportunity to be aggressive, more so maybe than I should at times. I think that for the most part we've played with confidence. I'd rather err on the side of a few questionable shots here and there, so guys aren't questioning themselves. But right now we look the opposite. We look our body language, the whole aura about us offensively, especially with our shot takers, especially from the perimeter. We don't look nearly as sure of ourselves as we do in practice, and as I've seen these guys in the past, whether it be their senior high school season, AU, what have you, or a couple of these freshmen playing with the confidence that they played with late last winter. Confidence in basketball is an enormous factor, and we're not playing with a lot of it right now, in games at least.
Is a setup like this coming stretch, 3 games in 4 days, is that something that can kind of jumpstart you maybe, having back?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, we got tons of opportunities. Here come another 3 this week, and hopefully we can take advantage. And I think that your best chance for your confidence to increase is not to go out there and jack one in the first minute to get it up and hope it goes in. And let's make sure our first one's a really good one. And if it goes, I think you get a better chance of really settling in, as a team and, as individuals. Some of it was, I think we were a little bit too thirsty, in game one. And then in game two, we didn't get many open looks, and took some questionable ones. Got a couple of jump shots blocked, and all of a sudden our percentages are what they are. And we got to dig our way out of that.
So you feel that the guys aren't really getting the shots that they need or want? Like Noah, just for example, is not catching the ball in the best spot for him, settled, open, the ball isn't moving well enough. Is that what you're kind of saying? Or you're saying some aren't falling and other times it's that?
There's just so many factors, Edgar. Yeah, sometimes the ball's not moving enough. Yeah, we had heck, I've seen that UConn game so many times now, I could talk about most of the possessions. But I would say 4 possessions within the first 7 seconds we're at the rim and make a bad decision. A couple live ball turnovers, a couple shot blocks, might as well be live ball turnovers, pick sixes, they're going the other way. They're faster, quicker, longer than us. That's not what we wanted. Those are bad decisions. Those are empty possessions. Now all of a sudden you've got shooters who haven't touched it longer than they would have otherwise touched it. So shooting percentages, heck, just bad decisions at the rim sometimes affect shooting percentages, because now shooters, I think at times we've got guys that it's nip and tuck, we're down 1, and it starts creeping in. When I get this thing, I'm going to hit a big one for us. I mean, it can't be that. It's got to be, if it's the right shot, I'm going to take it. And so live ball turnovers, the decisions at the rim, the block shots, the contested ones. We took a couple that just should not have been taken, just bad shots from 3. That affects not only that person, I think it affects all of us. Then you got the coach over there yelling, "Let's throw the dang thing inside," because he's pretty good, and so we're fighting that as well in terms of what our identity is going to be, because we all these guys want to eat, right? All these guys want opportunities. We've got to figure out how we can all eat together and figure out what a good shot is for each guy, when, where on the floor, when in the clock, so on and so forth. We've got a ways to go, and it ain't going to happen overnight. It's not. But it would look a lot better, obviously, and we'd make a big jump by simply making some open threes as well, because all due respect to UConn, they were terrific, and they were the better team for sure, but we also had some open looks, and we've got to make a couple of those. They made their open looks. They did. And we've got guys that can make them. We got to make them.
How do you decide, I know you don't make the schedule, but how do you decide where you're going to play these early season tournaments?
Administration decides.
You don't have any you have to say?
I guess I could probably have more if I wanted, but they've done a great job. Mike Hill did it for a long time. Linda Teeler does a great job with it. I think Mike planned this one, probably a few years ago. Whenever I'm asked, I like them close with the circus I have at the house. If we're gonna be a traveling circus for a weekend, I'd like it for the flight to be shorter than normal. I'm not really interested in Hawaii. Sorry to our fans. It's beautiful out there. It's a great place, but not with my family. I don't think Hawaii wants my family out there either.
So you're bringing them all to South Carolina?
All but one who has got to meet us later in the week. She's got some academic responsibilities.
So Andrew's reputation is for his great passing.
Yeah.
His facilitating.
Mhm.
And yet he takes six more shots than anyone the other day.
Yep.
Is that what you're looking for there? I mean, or is he got the green light? Is he maybe trying to force it a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I mean, has he had some possessions this year where you wish he maybe didn't take that one? Yeah, but I think he's forcing less than a few other guys. I think he did a good job of getting to the rim. A couple decisions I think he wishes he had back in terms of probably stopping, playing off of 2 feet, showing it, fanning it, maybe trying to draw a foul as opposed to attacking Acock in there, who's an elite shot blocker. I thought that he had one in the first half, left slot, really early clock. After we had an empty possession, the previous possession I think was also off a one-footed Scotty Lewis attack that got blocked, I think, by Acock. Poor decision, come right back down. Kind of a rough decision, but you want to play with confidence, right? Where's the line drawn? We've got to figure that out. That said, he made the same exact shot with a couple minutes left, maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, I can't remember, right in front of our bench. Same shot, same tempo, maybe a little bit more open, stepped up and hit a big shot. So I thought, a couple more of those go in for him, he would have had a heck of a game, and we would have stolen one on the road. He did a great job putting pressure on the defense, really playing through him down the stretch. Trey's our best natural scorer. He's out. On the perimeter at least, Andrew, we put a lot on his shoulders, and I thought he made some good plays. Defensively he was very good as well. Usually is.
Last question on the offense. You want the ball going through Carey a lot more?
Yeah, a lot more than really early in the season, but I think we've done that. I wish he had a couple more catches at least. Maybe a few more in that last game. But I also I don't think we missed him a ton either. I think the problem with him in his touches in our previous game, in the UConn game, that was very different than the Florida State game. The Florida State game, he was open the whole game. We didn't throw him the ball. In this past game, it was more of the empty possessions and a couple of the bad shots. I thought when he was wide open, for the most part, we got it to him. I also thought they did a pretty good job on him, But he's terrific. He's been great. Better than I thought he'd even be defensively. Rebounding his butt off. Extension of the staff. Got a chance to have a heck of a year, and we got to get it to him a lot. And to what extent will be determined by, I think, how everyone else around him is playing and by how we're defended.
You've never really cared about the ranking before, but when you go from 6 to unranked in a matter of 2 weeks, does it maybe get their attention as much as losing or close?
I don't talk to him about any of that stuff, Mark. To be honest with you, I'm going to talk to him about the preseason hype and the rankings and ad nauseum tonight. We're all going to Charleston tonight. We're going up early. Instead of watching a ton of film tonight, we're going to address all of it. And maybe it was my mistake by trying to downplay it, or I shouldn't say downplay it, because it was a non-factor from inside our building. Absolutely, it's about growth. That's it. Period. But I think the biggest thing I've learned lately is that if they're not getting messages from me, they're getting them from someone else, somebody else, some device, what have you. And not that I think in any way it decreased their level of work or focus, because we've had great practices. I mean, I've been really pleased with this group. I'm telling you, 99% of the time on that practice floor, way more so than a year ago. But the body language, the lack of confidence, the oh no, the sky's falling look on some of these guys' faces lets me know that it has definitely affected us. It definitely has. So where do we go from here? Let's talk about it. And I'm changing philosophies on that today, since you asked. We'll see how it works. Day-to-day concussion protocol. He suffered a concussion. I've been begging him to rebound down, since he graduated from high school, stick his nose in there with the big boys and get a big guy rebound as a guard. And, he's learned to play with more and more toughness. Unfortunately, took an elbow to the head, to the face. Tough play for him.
Can we ask one more thing?
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Yeah.
Just about what do you hope to get out of it? I mean, we've asked you what's wrong, but what do you hope to get solved? Did you get a good opportunity here, a few games?
Yeah.
You've got to be excited that you're getting them right back out there and going to find out more about them.
Yeah, I mean, biggest thing that you hope to see versus St. Joe's is maintained defensive and rebounding intensity and accountability. Continue to grow in those two areas, but I'm pretty pleased, for this early in those areas. Probably the same thing as everyone in this room is looking for, to settle in offensively, just to settle in. Play with more confidence, understand where we're going with the ball, share it a little bit better, take better shots, make better decisions, just settle in offensively. Whether you win or lose, we got to get better. Obviously, we'd like to win. But most importantly, we've got to make a big jump offensively with this group. And it's not like I've had certain teams where I just don't know how much better we can get. We've just got to we got to do this off the charts, because I just don't see the scoring prowess with this group. Our ceiling is high offensively. So potentially we could be very good offensively. Just got to get there. Got to keep working.
Last one. What's your plan for handling? You said you were going to talk to them tonight.
Yeah.
Open it up. Do you have you figured out what you're going to do? Are you going to actually start that conversation that you've never had before?
Yeah, I'm going to start it with questions. Yeah, I'm asking these guys questions. And, I started thinking about it a little bit after the Towson game when one of you guys alerted me, because I didn't go back and watch it, but one of y'all told me about how one of our guys talked about all the hype having affected him and da-da-da-da. And I can't remember who you told me it was. I don't even know who went to the stage that night. But it's about time that I was sticking with the same philosophy. And at what point does it become stubborn? So, we're just going to get it out. We're going to get it out. We're going to talk about it. And it may not help. It may be detrimental. But I'm going to try it. So this whole thing's trial and error, right? I don't know that we can shoot it more poorly than we're shooting it. So we're just going to have an open conversation. And when we've done that in the past with these guys about other topics, it's been great. It's been a really healthy conversation. It's a great group. So we'll figure it out.